Hello, dear children. Good morning. Children, I am going to continue the reading part of your first lesson, Heidi Learns to Read, written by Johanna Spyri. So, all of you open your textbooks. Children, open page number 3. We have completed the reading part until page number 2, and in today's class, we are going to continue from page number 3. Oh no, replied Heidi. Replied, replied Heidi, sighing. Sighing, sighing. But I knew it would be impossible. Impossible, impossible. What is impossible, Heidi? What do you mean? To learn to read. It is so difficult. Difficult, difficult. You don't say so. And who told you this? Peter. Peter. Peter did. And he knows, for he has tried but can't learn. It is too difficult. Difficult, difficult. What a boy Peter must be then. But listen to me. Listen to me. Heidi, we must never believe, believe what the Peters say, but try for ourselves. Ourselves, ourselves. I'm sure you have never paid enough, enough attention, attention to your lesson, or looked, looked properly, properly at the letters. It's of no use, said Heidi with a great sigh of resignation. Resignation. Now, Heidi, listen to what I have to say. You have not been able to read because because you believed what Peter said. Now you must believe what I say when I tell you that you can learn to read like many other children. Children who are like you and not like Peter. First, you must know what happens. Happens when you are able to read. Do you see the shepherd? Shepherd shepherd on the beautiful green pasture? Pasture? Well, as soon as you can read, you shall have the book for your very own, and then you will know the whole story just as if someone were to tell it to you. What the shepherd did with his sheep and goats, and the wonderful wonderful and wonderful things that happened happened to him. Would like to know all that, Heidi? Heidi had been listening, listening with keen attention, attention, and now exclaimed, exclaimed with sparkling eyes, oh, if only I could read already. You will learn in no time. I can see that, Heidi. But now we must go to Clara. Come, we will take the books with us. Grandmother took Heidi's hand and they went together, together into the study. From the day Heidi had tried to go home and Fräulein Rotmeyer had scolded, scolded her for being so wicked, wicked and ungrateful, ungrateful, ungrateful. A change had come over the child. She now knew that she could not go home whenever she liked, but that she had to stay in Frankfurt for a long time, maybe forever. There was nobody to whom she could say how homesick, HOMESICK, how homesick she was, for she could not face giving the grandmother who was so kind to her cause to be angry as Fräulein Rotimier had been. She could no longer eat and grew thin. She lay awake, awake for long hours, thinking, thinking of her life in the mountain. When at last she fell asleep, sleep, she dreamed, dreamed of the red summits, summits, and the sunshine, sunshine, and the flowers. When she awoke in the morning, she wanted to run happily, happily, in the sun, but she soon realized, realized that she was in the big bed in Frankfurt. Then Heidi would weep long, long, and quietly, quietly, her head pressed, pressed into the pillow, pillow, so that no one could hear. Heidi's unhappiness, Heidi's unhappiness did not escape grandmother's notice. One day she asked her what the matter was. Heidi was afraid to tell her the truth. She did not want the kind grandma to think she was an ungrateful child. So she said, "Please, I cannot tell you." So children, once go through the today's video, and if you have any doubts you can ask me, okay? We will continue the remaining part in our next class. Bye children, thank you.